My name is Missie, Missie O'Toole. Some say I'm crazy, they think I'm a fool. But what they don't know, and they'll never see, is how spirit flows through me. Yes, 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 I'm Missie, Missie O'Toole. I'm a story songstress and provocateur. I've got a story to tell tonight. You missed this big song last week. And, oh yeah, I'm sure you can tell I'm also a fashionista. Well, an urban fashionista. You know, most fashionistas get their nice frocks off the runway. I get mine off the streets. Now, I found this little number. Those two plus this, all on the street. I put it on and I asked a friend of mine, what do you think this is? She said, looks to me like a Horace funeral outfit. Well, I don't know, but it felt appropriate for tonight. Now, I really should spank your ass if you weren't here last week, but no. Missie gonna be alive, and she gonna give you the Cliff Note version of what you missed last week. So, the story is about one man's healing journey from AIDS and how he transformed his life to become a healer. Yeah, he wrote a full-length manuscript while he was healing called Transforming the Wound, a path of healing from life-threatening illness. Now, I don't think he had transforming in a gender sense in mind, but some things come along later and you're just lucky. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, back to the story. Our protagonist, Tom, was 38 years old in 1988 when he was diagnosed HIV positive. He was at the top of his game as an independent organization consultant. PhD he was, making lots of money. Let's scroll forward to age 45. He's now announced his retirement, and he's living in that dream home in Hawaii he built with his partner of 12 years. And he knew it was time to quit. A year later, he was at the brink of death. He had 19 T cells and was covered with KS lesions. And then, the miracle came. He was snatched from the jaws of death. Won a place in a lottery to receive that new protease inhibitor called ritonavir. It hadn't even been FDA approved. He was one of the first people in the country to get it. Well, he jumped on that bandwagon when funeral dirges were beginning to be replaced by more optimistic songs. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost and now am found, was blind but now I see. See. Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds, nothing but bluebirds, singing their song all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never were things going so right. Well, things were going right for Tom, too. He finished a manuscript on his healing journey in 2.5 years. In it, he described his path, the principles he discovered, and prescriptions for those facing life-threatening illness. Yeah, he should have known he was destined to be a healer. Yeah, he picked up this little thing in a garage sale right before he went in. get his diagnosis back in '88. Now to him, since he was building a house in Hawaii, it had the feeling of Hawaii. You know, a hula dancer. And that wave graphic was reminiscent of a Hawaiian tattoo. It would actually be 9 years till he actually knew what this was. He read Carolyn Mace's book, Why People Don't Heal and How They Can. And she talked about Aquarian energy. Yes, this is the symbol for Aquarius. Well, Aquarius is the ruler of electricity. And electricity is energy. She said, Aquarius fills us with the sensation that we are exquisite beings with internal resources capable of healing illnesses always thought to be irretractable. She also said it fills us with an energy that challenges the speed at which we age. Oh yeah. Well, he studied that energy medicine along with massage and acupressure and aqua yoga and who knows what else. And you know, for the last 18 years, he's been teaching and practicing energy medicine. Yeah, well, had he paid attention, he knew what his destiny was. Now, it's quite amazing actually that he never spoke about his illness. He was an organization consultant. He got paid big bucks for telling the truth, surfacing and dredging up material that no one wanted to talk about, telling people to deal with their conflicts directly and speak their truth authentically. And what did he do? He kept it in. Now, the heart and throat are intimately linked, so we must talk about them together. We're talking chakras now. The heart is our emotional center. It's where we store and hold all of the emotions, the good ones, the bad ones, pain, joy, sadness, frustration, elation. It's all here. And it demands an open throat for those emotions to be released. Now, like I say, you missed the big production number last week. I was running around the stage in this, singing about the chakras. Too bad. You also missed my stories, my very insightful stories about the first 3 chakras, the root, number 2, and number 3. So let's talk about this heart and throat, because we've got to deal with them together. Well, you know, the throat's often closed, so emotion can't be expressed. Or we close it so we don't have to talk about things. He had this best friend. They were running buddies. Yeah, training for the gay games they were. And they talked about everything. His friend had lost a partner to AIDS. They talked about everything except the secret. Oh yeah, they both had an affinity for chocolate. And I'm not talking candy. His friend had a hunky, dark-skinned flight attendant that would come into San Francisco and lay over, if you know what I mean. And Tom would share about his secret Mandingo lover and all the juicy tidbits. But never, never, never was the secret talked about. Can you imagine? All that time and not sharing the most important thing going on in your life with your best friend? 6 years into Tom's diagnosis, his friend invited him to breakfast one morning. So they sat there, and after they were done, his friend said, "Tommy, I got something I have to tell you. I'm HIV positive. No, I actually have AIDS. I've told no one except my sister." Tom was taken aback. He sat and he listened, because this was his friend's moment. The next week, Tom invited his friend to lunch, made the same disclosure. Why was this secret not shared? Shame! That's why. Gay men didn't talk about it back in those days. No. It was shameful to be HIV positive. Well, short while later, Tom told everybody. Well, he pretty much had to. And the love and the support and the concern and the offers of help came flowing in. All of that he could have had for years. And he talked about the secret. So, Tom had this incredible couple. He had worked for them as a consultant, both of them. And they had known him as a consultant, then a dying friend, and now as an emerging AIDS activist. So Margaret, she is a sly fox, that girl is. She was head of the foundation at College of Marin, and she had planned for the AIDS quilt to be unfolded in the stadium at College of Marin. She envisioned this opening ceremony where 250 names would be read by 5 readers who she invited. I should say, she snookered old Tommy. Would you come and be a reader? Okay. Can you give me the names of friends that you've lost to AIDS? He gave her 14 names. Now, she knew what was going to happen. So she made sure none of his names were on his list. And when he got there, he got his list, and he started to read, strong and clear. And as he watched that quilt being unfolded, panel by panel on that floor, he became overwhelmed with emotion. He realized each of the names he was reading was a very important people in many other people's lives. He also realized his name could easily have been on that list. He was holding back the tears, and right when he thought he was going to burst, he sees old sly Frank coming up from behind. Feels his hand against his back. He took a deep breath and he gave all those names. Clear, strong enunciation. And when he was done, he went behind the bleachers and he burst into tears, sobbing. And they were Frank and Margaret, each with a hand on his shoulder, keeping his throat open to support the release of emotion they knew had to come. I know I'm telling Tom's story, but I got a burden on my own heart tonight that I've got to talk about. I'm sorry. It infuriates me when I hear people say that AIDS is over. AIDS is not over in many of our communities. I was so depressed when I heard the latest statistic from the CDC in March. 50% of African American men who have sex with men will acquire HIV in their lifetime. 50%. Now, the white boys are all well informed and in on taking about PrEP. 1 pill a day prevents transmission. That's spelled capital P, small e, capital R, capital P. PrEP stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis. Well, the word has been a little slower to reach the African American community and our other minority communities as well. You know, I love Wendy Williams. Oh, especially when she shoots it straight. Pow, pow. I can only imagine Wendy taking this one on. Oh, yeah. Hey there. It's time for Hot Topics. Let's get started. How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? Well, I've got to shoot this straight. If Black Lives Matter, where are our black clergy? And why aren't they standing up there in the pulpit teaching people about PrEP and how they can save lives instead of talking about the sins of homosexuality? Yeah, where are they? You know, historically, they've been real good at shaming the black men who love their brothers, leaving them the only option, the down low, for their parishioners who are players on both sides of the street. And where are the physicians that treat our brothers and sisters? Are they offering up information on PrEP, regardless of what the assumed sexual orientation of their patient is? Until the black clergy and the physicians who treat our brothers and sisters and all minority folks start standing up and taking leadership, AIDS will not be done in the black community. I'm just saying. Oh, I'm exhausted. Thanks for letting me get that off my chest. Let's get to the higher realms, please. Third eye and the crown. 6 and 7. Now they're kind of like heart and throat. You can't separate them because the third eye is the screen where the visions and information that spirit sends is projected. So when the crown is open, there it all is. Well, we all receive vision in different ways. Tom knew that his crown opened most fully when he was alone in nature, or swimming in the ocean or in a pool. But vision comes to each of us in different ways. It can come in dreams. It can be shown to us by animals that cross our path. It can come as nature, cloud formations. It can come in something we make, find, or even imagine. It can come when a stranger comes up and gives us some information, or when we hear the same message real close together multiple times. It can even come in something we find in a garage sale. Now, this is a more recent story, but I think it illuminates my point. A couple years ago, Tom went to a conference and he met this incredible woman who had been doing advocacy work for HIV for over 25 years. He went up to thank her, and as they were talking, she told him that she was going out on leave for a while because she had been diagnosed with uterine cancer. Well, Tom offered his services because he'd been taught, offer your services. If you don't, and you can help somebody, it's a sin of omission. Well, a day before her surgery, she called him and said, I want your help. So he went to her home a week later. And as he assessed her, she talked about this pain from a prior past trauma. And he immediately saw the connection of that pain with the uterine cancer. Now he knew the throat had to be open for that pain and trauma to be released, and her throat was closed. So he asked her, do you sing? Are you kidding? No, I don't sing. Well, it might be a good idea. Just pick a song you like or sing with the radio. Just get in the shower and belt something out. But you got to keep that throat open. You know, it sure is funny you say that. Because I've had this song just going around and around in my head and I cannot get it out. It's not even a song I like. Well, what is it? I don't know the name, but it goes something like, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. Okay. Well, Tom went home and he Googled that song. And he found bright, bright, sunny day. Yep. And when he read the second stanza of the lyrics, whew, he got chicken skin. I know I will make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. There is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. He called her up and said, girl, print that song out and start singing it. Because he knew that Spirit had put him in her path and that he brought the rainbow energy of the chakras that she had been praying for. He also knew that Spirit was sending her a message, that it was going to be a bright, bright, sunny, sunshiny day for her. I checked in with her a couple weeks ago. She's back at work, cancer-free, and attributed much of her healing to that song. So, my wish for you is that you let your light shine. We talked about that last week. That you apply the principles of energy medicine to dissipate those bad feelings and get rid of that pain. And that we all live in bright, bright, sunshiny days, knowing that all lives matter. And we have to live that way. Oh, I'm a little dramatic.